nature without check with original energy. That's only a song to Yaldness, and that's energy that comes from nature and from sun and from. In fact, all those Thoreau and
Yes.
Waldo Emerson
Yes.
they are not very religious, but they believe in religion from nature.
Yeah. That's true. Yes, true.
Sure, and it's like the old people that they don't know how can they explain the world, so they adore nature. It's quite. And so we go on.
Yeah.
Houses and rooms are full of perfumes. The shelves are crowded with perfumes. I breathe the fragrance myself and know it and like it. The distillation would intoxicate me also, but I shall not let it. Well, that's what we were talking. He was an hedonist, and he has in some kind he has a quite a nostalgia of ancient times, of nature, of the perfume of flowers, and the atmosphere is not a perfume.
Yeah.
It has no taste of the distillation. It is odorless. It is my mouth forever. I am in love with it. I
Yeah.
will go to the bank by the wood and become undistinguished and naked. I am mad for it to be in contact with me. Well, this is a song to nature again. The inspiration of nature is quite, but he has. We were talking before. He has a particular. It takes a particular distance from nature to create his own poem, to create, in fact, to create literature. He didn't want to create literature, but he does. That's the thing I was telling before. Without willing, he does. He makes
Yeah. Yeah.
he makes literature,
Yeah.
and
It,
and
it,
that's very original. If you read the poems, maybe I take from the next class poems by Woodward or Carlyle or maybe Tennyson.
yeah.
They are very formal. They're very,
Yeah. Oh, Wordsworth. Yes.
but that, to be formal you can be formal, but you cannot be meaningless. I mean, to be formal is just a way of saying.
Yeah.
It's like pronunciation.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's- we follow the
Yeah.
smell
We are
the
in the smoke of my breath.
of my own earth, echoes, ripples, and basil whispers, love root, silk thread, crotch, vine, my respiration and inspiration, the beating of my heart, the passing of blood and air through my lungs, the sniff of green leaves and dry leaves, and the shore on dark colored sea rocks, and coach and of
Anna.
hay
Yeah.
and of hay the barn, the sound of the belched words of my voice, words loose to the eddies of the wine. That's beautiful. Yeah. A few light kisses, a few embraces, reaching around of arms, the play of shine and shade on the trees at the supple boughs wag,
Mm-hmm.
the delight alone in the rush of the streets or along the fields and hillsides, the feeling of health, the full noon thrill, the song of me rising from bed and meeting the sun. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. That's because he has a particular sense of poetry that is very, very modern, and this free verse is. It's a poet that embraces you to this. He's always discovering by the by telling his sensations, allows you to find another world. I mean, another way of looking, another way of looking.
Yeah, I have found out that eddies of the wind is also like the little worlds that happened, so like a whirlwind, we could also say, como
Mhm.
los pequeños tornados que pueden ocurrir con el viento. I just love.
Remolino, ¿no?
Sí,
Molino, no sería.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well done. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is a beautiful paragraph you read there. You had
You have chosen very well. There's very nice verses.
yeah,
Kisses, a few embraces,
yeah,
reaching around for forms, the play of shine and shade on the trees and the sepulchre's walk. They light alone in the rush of the streets or along the fields and hill circles. The feeling of health, the full known thrill, the song of me rising from bed and meeting the sun. Oh, great, great. Mhm.
yeah. Beautiful.
I'm having a wonderful time with you.
That's the idea, That's why we are meeting. Otherwise, it's better not to meet. If you are going to.
Yeah. Right.
The idea is to have fun and to learn together, and people reviewing with us Walt Whitman and this beautiful text that we cannot read the every verse, every line, but at least they will be reviewing with us the meaning and some of the images that he created with his own words. I think that's the powerful um, tool of poetry that is bringing us um, images that we
And another important thing about Whitman is that he, without knowing, is a master of language. Is a
yeah.
master of it. Yeah. Have you reckoned 1,000 acres much? Have you reckoned the earth much? Have you practiced so long to learn to read? Have you felt so proud to get at the meaning of poems? Hmm? Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Stop this day and night with me, and you shall possess the origin of all poems. You shall possess the good of the earth and sun. There are millions of suns left. You shall no longer take things at second or third hand, nor look through the eyes of the dead, nor feed to the spectres in books. You shall not look through my eyes either, nor takes things from me.
Mm.
Very well done. It's a good author to have a nice time. Yeah, much
Yeah.
better, much better than we were talking last evening about Charlotte Bronte. Do you
Yeah.
remember? And
Yeah.
it's maybe Whitman goes far away more than Charlotte Bronte
Yeah.
because he feels and also it's another thing about Whitman that he loves liberty.
Yeah.
Is they are discovering liberty. In fact, if you are American, you love Whitman because he loves liberty, and liberty is the well, the great light, the sea light of America. And so
Yeah.
even in our times, maybe.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Uh,
Shall we continue with the next part?
the spotted hawk soups,
No, from here, this part that we haven't read, this
they are
part.
alive. They are alive, no?
Yeah.
And yeah, no. And what do you think has become of the women and children? They are alive and well somewhere. The smallest sprout shows there is really no death. And if ever there was, it led for life and does not wait at the end to arrest it. And seized the moment life appeared. All goes onward and outward. Nothing collapses. And to die is different from what anyone supposed. And luckier. Oh, wow. That's that's
Well,
terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. He can be terrible too. He can be terrible. Mhm.
but in his all goes onward and outward, nothing collapses, and to die is different from what anyone supposed. And
Oh,
so,
of
so
course.
I guess this is very,
And
very
luckier.
luckier.
And
So he's saying
luckier. Well,
so.
it's interesting because he does. I think that Whitman doesn't speak so often about death, but that verse today is different for what any other. Death is always a surprise. You have to be prepared for that. So, in fact, death is can be as natural as life, and we have no having any right to live with this. To live is an accident, and to die also is an accident.
Yeah.
And well, in some way, because uh, we love to live because we haven't any other choice. So that this you cannot. There is another author that speaks about his death. There is a Peruvian author, Cesar Vallejo. Cesar
Uh-huh.
Vallejo, yeah, Cesar Vallejo is in some sense Cesar Vallejo is connected with Whitman.
Mm-hmm.
Whitman has a lot of influence in contemporary
In
authors.
contemporary authors, yes, that's right. And you will tell us later about Borges and Whitman.
Well, Borges, he has made a wonderful sonnet, formal sonnet.
Yeah.
Uh, Borges, in fact, is a liberal and free man, but he loves formality. He loves
Yeah.
formality. He has chosen very different styles along his life. But as a classical poet, he is great too.
Yeah. So
I,
what's the name of the poem, the sonnet that he wrote?
Camden, 1867. Camden, 80, that's the name of the poem.
Camden, 1867.
Maybe no, I don't sure about the date. Maybe Camden, yeah, yeah,
Well,
Camden,
I'm just saying because maybe later I'll place the name so people can read also that sonnet from Borges about Whitman.
yeah,
And I think it's something that I didn't know. So thank you for sharing with us.
okay.
And I'm sure people will go and check this sonnet.
It's,
Um,
a- it's a sonnet. It's a sonnet from I'm looking here
yeah,
find it. Oh,
and the title, you mean?
yeah. No, I cannot find
No
it.
worries. I'll check it that and I'll place the name and everything later underneath in the box so
Any,
people can check it.
anyway. So, do you want we continue in 70?
Yes, please. Yes.
The spotted hawk swoops and by and accuses me. He complains.
Yeah. Just a second. I have found the poem. It's Camden, 1892.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Camden, 1892. That's a poem from Borges. Thank you, Manuel.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, we read this part.
The spotted hawk swoops and accuses me. He complains of my gab and my loitering. I too am not to be tamed. I too am untranslatable. I sound my barbaric yope over the roots of the world. They said yope, that's in ancient English.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last card of day holds back for me. It flings my likeness after the rest, and true as any of the shadows wills, it coaxes me to the vapor and the dusk. Mm. I depart as air. I shake my white locks at the runaway sun. I fuse my flesh in eddies and drift in lazy jacks. I fuse, so an archaism.
Mm.
He used, I bequeath myself to the dirt to grow from the grass I love. If you want me again, look for me under your boot soles. Another thing about free poetry, free verse, is that it has no ring, but it is very well measured. Measured. The measure is perfect. I bequeath myself to the dirt to grow from the grass I love. If you want me again, look me under the boot soles. Yeah, it's a very musical.
Yeah.
Musical.
Mm.
You hardly know who I am or what I mean, but I shall be good health to nevertheless, and filter and favor your blood. Failing to fetch me at the first keeping courage, missing me one place search another, I stop somewhere waiting for you. Oh, such a wonder.
It is.
Thanks a
So
lot, Anna. Thanks a lot. You are
you were.
great. I told you.
Yes, I know you are having a lot of fun reading poetry and being here. I
It's
know I
great.
knew you were going to have fun, and that's the idea.
It's,
So
it's a
this
great.
was a difficult text, Manuel, because there are, as you said, many words that are archaic words. Would you like to comment on some of these words from the 15 to the 21 that have been selected here in the text, so we can review with the people? For example, God.
Maybe,
They
maybe,
say,
maybe I prefer to leave that pleasure to the readers, and because all those words are precisely choose. I think is an intuition. I think it's also he wants in some way to be cult and to be original. So he tries to find to look inside the secrets of language. But
yeah,
I think it's not the most interesting thing about Whitman. The
no,
thing, the interesting thing is rhythm is his how he tries to show the universe, and also the language in itself, but how he places words and how he tries to produce his own music, and with such a liberty, such a freestyle.
yeah,
This I think absolutely the most thing is the time in which he has written those texts. It's, it's,
yeah.
it's
I,
quite
I I was going to just, because I usually do this when I'm reading with people, to just to learn at least something that they can learn with us. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go through these words just a little bit, so people
Mhm,
can,
okay.
review with me some of the expressions. Obviously, as Manuel is saying in a poem, one word can mean many different things depending on the meaning that you are also adding to this to the person.
In a poem and in life too.
And in life too, yes, exactly. So, but let's be very concrete about some of the words. At least these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words that we are going to review. One is gag, is the one that we were saying before, is chatter. Sorry, I was mistaken. Then we have jab, which is harsh cry. Is I sound my barbaric job over the roofs of the world. Esta palabra, this word, appears in this beautiful movie. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, with this fantastic American actor that died, Robin Williams, in the Dead Poet Society. ¿Se acuerdan? Es el Club de los Poetas Muertos. Y hay un momento, there is a moment when he's saying to the students, come on, stand up on your desk and scream and express your job, no, something like that.
Williams in the poem, the club of deaf poets, no?
Yeah, exactly. And they read also Walt Whitman.
It's another poem from Whitman, Captain of My Captain. He's also dedicated to Abraham Lincoln. Captain of My Captain.
Exactly.
It's a very moving film. Yeah.
It's
and Robin is always great. He plays well. In fact, the thing I don't like about this film is he took the role of victim. That's
yes.
He's like a false lover. Well, I'm very ugly, I'm poor, I'm lonely, just to flirt with a girl. Look at me, I'm poor, I need you.
Yes, yeah.
Well, it's a resource. It's a resource of it's a classical resource of weakness. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to support the charge of being yourself anyway. No problem with it.
Exactly. So we have also the last scad, meaning in the 18th, flash, swift movement. The last scad of day holds back for me. That's beautiful. Then we have effuse. Do you want to comment on effuse?
Well, effuse is quite similar to effusion, no? It's a flow. To effuse is quite similar to translation. No? Effuse is it has an exact translation. Sería effuse es manar or something like this. But
well done. Yes.
Unfortunately, there isn't always an exact translation into Spanish. So it's one of the glories of poetry that it has no translation, of course.
Yeah.
You cannot translate the Tempest from by Shakespeare. Of course not. Of course not, and greatly not.
And better not.
Yeah. Hey, poetry is like love. It's to enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
A boring love. No, please.
Exactly. And as we can see, it appears again, this word that we have learned today, eddies. It says, I effuse myself in eddies. It's the same word that appears before, remember?
Eddies es remolino, no? Más o menos.
Yes, yeah. And then we have bequeath. I love this word. I sometimes...
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice.
Yeah, there are certain words, right, Manuel, that when you say these words...
It's very literary. It's very literary. Not frequently used. It's literary, but it's nice. It's nice. Well, in fact, they can. I think that our mates, our fellow mates, can learn a lot of English reading Whitman. It's a good author. It's a good author. Also for learning. Also for learning. Maybe for perhaps it's better to have fun to pass a nice Thursday, but always including to learn English.
Exactly. Learning should be together with having also pleasure, because when I find some meaning that is deep and is touching my heart and my soul, that is a great pleasure. And I
They,
think that no
they are they
learning
are they
learn
are very fortunate to have you as a teacher, Anna.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you. No, well,
yeah, yeah.
I'm an
You know
honor
what I'm
student.
saying.
I consider
You
myself a student.
I'm
I'm a,
not flattering. I'm not flattering. I never do it. When I say something, I think can I try to be sincere.
well, thank you. But you agree with me. I am sure of that. That this is a never-ending story. So we are eternal students of English or eternal students of whatever,
We
because
are
there's no
eternal.
end.
We are eternal students of everything.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I think that placed us in a humble position, and I think it's better to start from there than what I have seen many times in schools, unfortunately, from even teachers that were, I don't know, kind of creating these barriers, these limits with their students, as if they are teach. Of course they are teachers, of course they know more because they have experienced life more, but the kids shouldn't be suffering the arrogance of the teacher. I think that really pisses me off, if I have to say some bad word about this situation. That really creates a bad atmosphere when people are teaching from a position of arrogance. I don't like it.
We have no right to be arrogant
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
Never,
yeah, no.
never. To be arrogance is a mistake. Always, always.
Mm. Yeah,
Arrogance, arrogance is for the weak people.
yeah. And also, I don't mind making mistakes in front of my students. It's like, hey, I'm a human being. I'm in the process and I can be mistaken, and there is nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
Yeah, because otherwise we are kind of creating this image that is an ideal image of how a person should be talking in English, and it's an illusion. You will never get everything right.
I'm going to take to tell you another story. When I first started to be a teacher in structures in architecture,
Yes.
I was very young. I was 24, 23, and I have a first approach with the professor, and I asked, asked him, what I have to do if I don't know about any question that the people poses to me. And he tells me, "Whoa, you have to say to him that you don't know." And and after you say, "But I'm going to find it for you." And
Exactly.
you study, you find the thing, and the next lesson you teach him, and so and because teaching is the same thing that learning. So
Exactly.
we are always learning from the others,
Mm.
always learning from the others. The other can teach us in any time anything.
Yeah.
That's the idea. So arrogancy has no place. That's the
Yeah.
explanation.
No places.
You are,
Exactly.
you are, you are, you are, you are very wise, as I told you before.
No, no. Manuel, it has been a pleasure saying and reading things to you.
A wonderful, wonderful time for a Thursday. It's
Yes.
a wonderful morning and a wonderful time. Really, really, really nice.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Anna.
You're welcome. I'm going to stop the recording, but don't go, because I will stop the recording and we'll talk later. Okay. So we say goodbye to the audience.
Goodbye. Goodbye.